one. Wake your punk asses up. You know what day, you know what time it is. 12 noon, the GeMix hour. Broadcast live from our second home, Lounge 3, located 1013 U Street, Northwest Washington, D.C.
U Street, baby.
Right in the heart of U Street Quarter, right in the heart of what's formerly Taka City, more of a Mocha City right now. But of course, this is the almighty, the world famous GeMix. I am Breazy Taylor.
Smooth swagger. DJ Soyo.
And as you can tell, we are joined by a very esteemed guest, a very, very dope lyricist first, artist out of DC by name of Priest Da Nomad. He's here joining the GeMix, so we appreciate you.
No doubt, man.
Being on the GeMix with us.
Yo, thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. You know, like, Soyo's family, so, yeah, I appreciate the opportunity, man. No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. And so the album, The Manhood, also we can't forget, we can't forget. I'm sorry. No, I'm just so happy to, to have a DC representative on the show. But no, we do have a guest as well.
What up? What's going on, family?
Yeah, what's going on? And again, we appreciate you brothers for coming on to the show.
Absolutely.
Very much. Again, thank you. Your latest album, The Manhood Project.
Yep.
Just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
3 weeks ago. You had the album release party at Wicked Bloom.
Yeah, listening party. We're gonna do a release show as well. So yeah. So it was just kind of a listening party to get people acclimated. People been hearing little bits, stuff on the radio, little bits of this. So we wanted to kind of do a communal listening. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah.
And I know about a week or two before, you were on a very good friend of our show, King RX show.
Okay. King RG? Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
So I see you making the rounds, talking about the album. So before we get into the album, I want to tell you what it meant to me.
Okay.
Right.
No doubt.
I'm 40, so I grew up during the golden era of hip hop. Right. So when I listened to your album, it took me back to good listening.
Okay.
It took me back to not only good content, but needed content.
Okay.
There's so much subject matter out there that's being said on albums that may not be, good to our digestive system.
Right.
And I noticed on your album, you touched on a lot of topics that aren't necessarily spoke about, particularly on mainstream radio.
Of course.
The black men, being one.
Yeah.
You spoke about black men wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Right. You spoke about gentrification.
Yeah.
You touched on a little bit on a
lot of things that people are seeing, but are afraid to deal with, and whatever reason, sometimes. I'm a firm believer in dialogue, man. Dialogue never hurts, and I think if you're honestly trying to learn and you're trying to understand, you have to have dialogue. You have to be willing to talk. You have to be willing to listen as well. You know what I mean? So I just think there's just not enough balance. My whole thing is I'm all about balance, right? So I think everything. Yeah. 1st of June, baby. You heard the food joint. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1st of June, you know what it is. Definitely. It's just that balance thing, man. So and it's like a balance with music sonically, and it's also a balance with content, I think, for me. And I just like to, hear an amalgamation of things, and then when you're only seeing one perspective, you know what I mean? Like if you're only watching Fox News, you know what I mean? It's you got a real skewed view of what's really out here, you know what I mean? So yeah.
So what about this album makes a difference from your first 2 albums, Mr. Move, Something, and Travels? Well, what makes this album different from those 2?
All of those, the rest of those projects, especially Mr. Move Something, was made in a lot of tumultuous times. 2005, I was going through a lot with the separation, divorce, and all that type of stuff. So, and I think I'm always going to spit life, you know what I mean? And I think that the Manhood Project pretty much shows the progression and the journey and the growth. And I said growth in a lot of ways. Growth in me as a producer, growth with me as a engineer, and growth with me as an artist. As far as like really changing from just a lyricist and an MC to a songwriter. You know what I mean? So becoming a songwriter and being able to write for the benefit of the song without my ego getting in the way of it.
Actually,
So
you mentioned that we just had a debate on what is a rapper, what is an MC, and what is a lyricist.
We literally like.
yeah.
See the content.
Okay. Yeah.
And since you brought that up, I want to ask you, do you feel like that those three titles are all distinctly different?
I think there are different aspects that bleed into each other, but there's basic aspects. Like the rapper is the basic. That's the basic, right? You know how to put words to rhythm, right? That's the basic. There's no type of morality. There's no type of ethos to it. It's like I learned how to put words to rhythm, right? When you start taking the pen seriously, you become a lyricist. And then you start growing from that. When you become an MC is when you take all aspects of the culture seriously. And when you take all aspects of the craft, from writing to performing to making viable records, to trying to MC is a master of ceremony. So I'm mastering all parts of the craft, right? Freestyling, battling, whatever the situation calls for. Then so I can't be like, oh, I'm the nastiest MC, but I can't write a song in the studio. I can't record. There's a lot of cats who got caught out there like that. You know what I'm saying? That are hell on the battle scene, doing this, doing that. I was on there. I did it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of cats that I give a lot of love to on just the mic, but we can't get that to translate to records and things that listeners and the fan bases can connect to you with, you know what I mean? Whether it be sonic issues because you're not doing things technically proper, writing issues or whatever, it's just you're not complete. So that's always the goal is to become complete, you know what I mean? And so I think the MC is the more so the complete version of all those. So yeah. In my opinion, that's all, you know, my humble opinion.
We're all three GeMix ourselves.
Yeah.
And we pretty much said, you know, of course, variations, of course.
Yeah.
Something that you said. You know, I said that a rapper is the business of being an MC or a lyricist. Focus. You know, just like you have beats, you have worker beats. You know what I'm saying? You got, drones. It's still beats. You know, we also agreed that an MC is just that, master ceremony and moves the crowd. Then we said that a lyricist is someone that concentrates on the message and how the message is put together, how it's structured.
Okay.
The word structure.
Okay.
You know, do you use double entendres?
Okay. Yeah. With the pen. You know, the sentence structures and all that. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
So other than being a fan of hip hop, what makes you decide it's something that I not only want to do, but something that I actually can do?
As far as what now? So what?
Hip hop. Besides being a fan of hip hop.
What made me want to do it?
Yes.
Hip hop. Oh my God, man. Fan. I mean, I think we all start off as fans. I mean, my first. I mean, I grew up to it in the 80s, you know, as a young teenager, and then as a young adult in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? So hearing my aunt was the first to introduce me to it. She used to have records, and I used to just go, you know, check all the records out and everything, and I was drawn to the Sugar Hill Gang record because of the color of the record, because of the swirl, you know what I'm saying, of the record. And I was like, oh man, it looks like candy, you know. And then I made her play the record, and I was like, what the hell? What is this? I think I was like, you know, yeah, it was like, yeah. I was like to like what 79. So I mean, I was a little kid because I was born 72. So it's like I'm like, wow, what the hell is this? At 7 years old, I'm like, you know, and it just caught me, man. And then you start hearing, and then it was like I caught as I grew up in the 80s and got into, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, when I moved out to Beltsville, I was born in Northeast, in Brentwood, and then we moved out to Beltsville. You know, I was like saying, growing pains. Mamas leave the city, try to get the kids out the city, you know, escape the drugs, but then the kids was the hustlers. So then the suburbs is all gritty. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it was. You know, you go to leave and everybody's trying to get their kids out. So that's why there's hustling out in the suburbs, and you know what I mean? So I was out there in Beltsville, then Hyattsville, and growing up and watch and listen to Frank Ski, Breakers Delight. On WEBB, yeah, you know what I'm saying, AM, you know what I'm saying, 6 o'clock every Saturday. So that's when I really got my intro into everyone. Cold Crush, Fresh Wildflower Bowl, that was my joint, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. And then, you know, we was all breaking. We was b-boying. I was b-boying back then, and we was, you know, we trying thinking we was doing stuff, battling each other and all that type of stuff. So we all, you know, Cass was graphing, so we all just, you know, we just got consumed by the culture, man. And then, you know, I think what really hit me on, it was all jokes and games until Kane. When Kane when he came out with Long Live the Kane, and he came out with Raw, I was done. I was like, yo, that's me. This is me. So I had, and people will tell you, everybody knows me from high school. You see it on the Facebook commentary sometimes. They be like, oh, I knew you used to have a microphone around your neck in high school. I literally walked them, because, you know, news was on drug dealers or jury. Some cats back, yo, I used to walk around with a microphone tied around my neck like it was a chain. And then niggas used to make fun of me, and we used to laugh until it heard me rhyme. And I used to battle dudes at lunch and take their lunch money every day. We used to get, you know, put your lunch money up, Slim, and we battling, you know what I mean? And that's the way we did. So you know, that was just my foyer. And then, you know, once I got out of high school, when senior year of high school, that's when I got into the clubs. You know what I'm saying? And then we was dancing back then, strictly dancing, me and a partner of mine, and I was real skinny, didn't have no food, dancing for everybody, you know, and everything. A lot of Howard cats and stuff like that, and cats that became promoters, Rhonda Berry and all them dudes, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I really got on the scene dancing, so, and then got back into rhyming. So, yeah, it's just been all over, man, you know. Yeah.
That's not a solid start to it.
Yeah, but it was from an early kid, man. I was just, you know. Yeah. What type of balls is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, to say that, like, Slim, I'm that nice. I'm gonna walk around with a mic around my neck and dare you to say something, because I was just ready. Like, you know how when you just ready to rock and you just going, you hungry. I was just hungry. I was like, whatever. What? You said you want battle? What? No, I said hi. oh, my bad. Oh, all right.
You were a walking prophecy.
Yeah.
You were a prophecy. You may not even know it at the time.
In fact, this sister who just bought the album, and, you know, on the Bandcamp, she paid like $20 for the download. She was just like, look, just take this. I just want you to know. And she was just like, yo, I remember you used to have the microphone around your neck, and I was like, this is crazy. You know, this is destined to be. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, a high point. All right, what's up, yo? So, yeah, so it was like people remember that, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So I gotta ask you a question. Man.
Yes, sir.
And you said that you got into like engineering and producing beats. One thing, like, so I'm born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, New York. So you know, I love paying attention to the beats and stuff like that. Sound is dope, man. Sound is dope and shit. I was gonna ask you, who did your beats and like, how'd you go about selecting the beats? But now that you said that you were producing engineering,
so here's the thing. So let's differentiate producing from beat making. So I don't make beats, okay? So, but I work with writers. So one thing I learned, so I worked at Omega Studios in Rockville, Maryland. So I was it's a major label recording studio and a school. So I went to school there as a student. That's where I learned my skills and everything. And then was out in the field freelancing, 930 Club, Lincoln Theater, mixing down there, doing stuff like that. Yeah. And then they hired me back as a instructor and to take over the hip hop, R&B stuff and gospel. So I was there for 6 years, doing all the working with like Richard Smallwood, working with Luda. I got credits with them. Of course, Raheem, Drew Hill. A lot of people, a lot of folks like that as an engineer. So there was a whole slew of people. So that's why I had the moniker Larry Priestware, because that was my engineer moniker. So everybody called me Priest, but I had Larry Priestware as my engineer moniker. That was when I created my Facebook page. But the artist was Priest Da Nomad. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was, working with major producers, major label producers, they had teams of writers. You know what I mean? When I worked with gospel cats, when I worked with Ricky Payton and all of them cats, they would literally bring in teams of writers and beat makers. They were like, okay, here's a programmer. Give me a beat about 98 BPMs. Give me this. I want something like, they beatbox it and come up with it, and then musicians would get on it, and literally songs are getting written. I want, here's the melody. They'd work out the melodies, and you're seeing the writing process develop, which cats don't get to see no more because nobody blocks out a week or a month of the studio of major label of studios no more. So that's one of the reasons we can talk about this later, why we're doing a production Q&A event at Omega on February 16th. So because of that, a lot of people have, sonically, like, the album sounds incredible sonically, and I mixed it out of my living room. Like, I have no studio, I have no big set, like, literally, but because I understand the skill sets on acoustics and how to monitor, how to compensate for inaccuracies in my frequency response and stuff like that, because I understand that, I knew how to compensate, you know what I'm saying, for and know how to make things translate from a mix in my living room to the truck to the speaker. Yeah. So it's great mastering engineers. Shout out to my man Ricardo Gutierrez, who does a lot of mastering for Drake and MMG and all that. And he also did Kokai's album too. But he's an old U Street cat, you know what I'm saying? So that's from New York, but he was down here. So it's just being that, having that experience strictly as an engineer, working with major label producers and stuff like that, and seeing how they work with using beat makers as writers, because that's what you really are. If you're not making the decisions of what the song becomes, then you're a writing element of the song, right? So if whoever's writing the piano melodies, whoever's doing horns, whoever's writing, those are the writers. Right now, if you are making the decisions of saying, "Oh, we want this. No, do this over. I want that. Yeah, give me this. You're, little flat. I don't like that performance. Do it." If you're doing that, then you're the producer, right? You're making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when I pick beats, I work with beat makers who are producers as well. You know what I'm saying? Roddy Rod, Kev, Unknown. Like, those cats are producers in their own rights, but I work with them as writers. They know who I am, they know my skills, and they're like, oh yeah, just get a beat. They know they can give me a beat and walk away from it, and it's gonna come back right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. So every time I hear a beat, I hear beats as templates, and I can say, oh, that's dope, but we need to switch that with a live bass. I'll say, yo, I want some keyboard work on that. I would like to join with Cy Smith. So my man Zoe, Lorenzo Ferguson, Zoe did the keys and bass and all that for that. But that was Choppy Chop did the actual beat. But I said, yo, we need more work on that. So gave it to Zoe and was like, yo, Cy did her part first, gave it back to me, and then I gave it to Zoe, like, yo, I need you on this, man. Give me some ambience. I want, some phasers. I want blah, 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 blah. He's like, yo, say enough, say no more. You know what I mean? So that's how I work with cats, because, we have that trust. So they know. I remember the funny thing with Roddy when I made Growing Pains, and he had that, I got that beat from him, and the kids that are, oh. So when I first did that, and he was surprised that I kept the kids in there, like that I rhymed over that. He's like, oh, I thought that was I meant that to come in and out. I'm like, nah, no. I said it's going to stay in there. Now I'll bring it up and down mix-wise. And mix-wise, I brought it, I wrote it, but I'm like, that's a key element of the track, and I want it to stay in there. We can bring other things around it to make it, you know what I mean? Thus getting Jay Hill and getting, Deborah on the backgrounds and doing other things. But, like making those decisions and him saying, all right, dog, I'm going to let you do your thing. And then I give it to him, and he's like, God, wow. And that's, that's what's dope. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, it starts off with the beats though. So shout out to, and that's why I always, even though I'm pretty much the producer of the album, I give production credit because, we're indie level. We're all on independent. So credit to everything. You know what I'm saying? So I said, look, if you give me a beat and I don't add anything to it, I'm just using the beat, I'm giving you full production credits. But if I bring in musicians and I do like stargazing, like motivation, like, growing pains, then we're going to share production credits. You know what I mean? And I still put them first. I'll say such and such and Priest Da Nomad on the credits. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Great work.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Definitely.
Like when you just like the jewels you just dropped. Like I hope people caught it. Like here, what you just described is what we were talking about earlier about teamwork.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what that really looks like. What it really means.
Yeah.
Not talking that shit that people be talking, but actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the work. Number one, you gotta do the work.
Yeah.
And then sharing that work.
Yes, sharing credit. And be willing to step back. Like, to me, it's all about getting it done. Like, I just want to get it done. Like, you want most of the credit, cool. I have no problem with that because it's like, I'm not paying straight up for beats. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, we're splitting publishing, we're splitting writers, and monies are coming in a little bit from play for like Can't Lose the Soul and stuff like that. There's got some CSAC quarterlies and stuff a little. So the thing is that we're all splitting. This is very little money, but I'm like, look, it's all split. We all 10, like yeah. So right. So it's like, look, if it goes, then we all go. You know what I mean? And if it, it's like whatever. But it's like, and that's my way of paying producers and and cast them.
That's what makes it fair. Because even though you say 10,
yeah.
But that 10 means so much more.
Yeah. And the credit.
You have the name right there. I gotta show somebody. This is, look, I did this. I'm part of this. Versus, like you just use.
And I know so many stories of people getting screwed like that, man. So many people, so many stories.
So that's very important.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Lose the Soul. Right? Dope video, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
What made you want to, incorporate the Go-Go/DC sound and talk about what's happening in Chicago, Atlanta, East Oakland, DC, gentrification? What made you decide to, nail all those elements together?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's really about what's happening here, but it's not only here, right? That's why I gave reference to the other cities. I gave reference to the other cities because we know what's happening in those other places. You've seen the little Facebook post, Barbecue Becky out in Oakland calling the police over people barbecue in their own neighborhood, right? Right? You've seen these stories, and in DC, as I tell cats, like, we every day we're going through these microaggressions, right? Where white people walk in their dogs and they automatically expect you to get out their way. if right, like they're just you're going to move, and they do it. I mean, in the malls, and I'm at down at LaFont Plaza, man, and I'm telling you, these kids, these MAGA kids, and they do these trips with the MAGA hats, and they be walking, and they don't move. I plow right through the motherfuckers. I'm seriously, I'm 6'5", fucking 280, 290. I'm plowing right through them. I don't care. I don't care if you're a kid. I don't care if you're a woman. I don't give a shit. Like if you're, because my thing, I'm walking in my path, and you're playing around. You're not. we teach our kids, you better be cognizant of where you at. We teach our kids, hey, walk. Where you at? You can't be just, what we teach our. They don't.
Training for that since you had a mic on your.
They don't care, right? And they're like, oh, you're gonna move, like, oh, yeah, why, for real? And I'll walk right through them. I'll be like, boom, boom, boom. I don't care if you old, you young. I don't give a shit. Because I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm walking. You're in my way. You know what I'm saying? And I don't give a shit. And nobody say shit to me. So, and it's like, But my thing is like, yeah, I mean, it's so we go through that type of stuff every day, or and that's what stargazing come from, right? Stargazing came from, you get taught to shrink yourself. I've always been tall, always been, you know what I'm saying? As I got bigger, it's always been like you're trying to make white people feel comfortable. You want to make, trying to make the system feel comfortable with your presence, because we're taught that our presence is a mere threat, right? So you spend all your life shrinking, trying to stand in the back of the elevator, or, trying to make it, oh, I'm cool, you ain't got to lock your doors, that type of thing, until you become free. And when you become free, you no longer care about those things. In fact, I embrace it. So I make myself look bigger when I walk into a room. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the biggest motherfucker in this. You know what I'm saying? I want to be that dude. So, and it's from a love standpoint, because it's not nothing to do with you. I love me. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is that that's what Stargazing. So if you clutching your purse or you locking your door, you can't handle my light. You stargazing. Oh, for real, you stargazing. You know what I'm saying? My light shine is so amazing. You stargazing. You on my nuts, basically. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that is. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where that came from. It's like I'm not shrinking myself for shit no more. You know what I mean?
And it's funny that you say, like, you're not shrinking yourself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what gentrification is doing. It's shrinking us while they expand out,
Well, yeah, if you let it. I mean, if you let it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of fight back. We were just talking to, like Cassie the other day, like, we talking to, there's people that are managers of, of restaurants and bars and things that are trying to fight back against it. And they're like, look, we're going to, have events, and we're going to do this stuff, and we're going to make them feel comfortable with our art, our culture, our space, like, and a lot of them will. A lot of people will just literally, genuinely, like, embrace, because, we the shit. So they're going to embrace our art, you know what I'm saying? They want to embrace everything but the burden, right? Everything but the burden. So, but it is what it is. You just have to, keep, doing what you can in your corner, and it's like, and be unapologetic about it. And it's not to say that, and I tell, like I said at the listening party, I said, this is not about an issue with white people. This is an issue with white supremacy. It's different. This is systemic. It's a systemic issue. Now, if you align yourself with the system, then I got a problem with you. But we have a lot of allies, you know what I'm saying, that are fighting with us. So, I mean, so you can't blanket it. You know what I mean? You can't blanket people. You have to deal with each person on their own merit. You know what I mean? So
I had a question about the album, Manhood Project. Like, did you, your audience, your target was to reach out to men, or you just, your perspective as a man?
It's just my journey. Yeah, it was just like literally the idea of the album became because of me noticing in media the last number of years, black men are always put out as the threats, right? We're always put out in negative lights, right? And it's like, what flavor of the month are we going to be negatively this month or this year? And in the recent years, it's been the whole feminization thing. It's been, Billy Porter's been out. He's been out since the 70s, but all of a sudden he's blown up. And it's been like, and if you're not bowing down to that, it's like you're homophobic. And it's like, that's, or toxic, right? And it's like, and it's and it's like, if I'm not praising was the prancing the gators and the makeup and yes, if you're not praising them or doing whatever, then you're toxic and you're homophobic. And it's like, no, I'm just a man and I have a family, and you know what I'm saying, and my daughters are asking me what's up, blah blah blah. And I said I'm talking to black women, and black women, like that's why I say it not today. And I'm like, black women, they confuse as dudes getting ass shots too. I say, you know what I'm saying? Walking down the street looking like mascots, ask not why we stand strong, ask them why they crawl. Don't ask me why I stand strong, ask him why they crawl. You know what I mean? So like I said, it was my daughter, you know, my 7-year-old, and you know, she's like, you know, Daddy, I see all stuff and you know, different types of men and men that act like women, but I don't see men that are like you. I don't see things that are like you or other people that are like. She knows my boy, my man Big Tone, and she knows, you know, she started to meet, or she knows a lot of my boys DP and them and Kokai and all. Like, I don't see where's that reflection. Where's that reflection, right? The average brother that I have in my sphere are just strong black men that are doing their thing. So it's like, where's that representation? You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, I have no problem with you and you want to go drag and dress and all, that's not a problem. But I'm not seeing a balance in the imagery that's being represented of us. And we're not being shown in our totality.
And there's nothing wrong with your daughter wanting to see
right
men that
right
are just like
right because it's the element of, she knows the elements of our household and what I am to my wife and what I am to her mother and me running a household, in a sense that when it comes, we move as a unit side by side, but when it's time for me to rock, we all have our roles, right? So when there's something happening at the door, it's not mommy not going to the door. I'm going to the door. I'm seeing what's up. Like anything happening, bumping at night, yo, my wife's not going down to do nothing. Sit here, I'm going. That's where we at. You know what I mean? And that's because that's what I know, right? Protect my woman, protect my children at all costs. There's nothing gonna happen to you that doesn't happen to me 1,000 times first. You know what I mean? And I think there is there's a shortage of that type of mentality with a lot of the youngins that are coming up, because they haven't seen enough of it. They're not seeing enough representation of that media-wise, because they're getting fed media-wise all the time, right? We're on the social media, TV, all of that, and it's just not enough representation. And my thing is just, look, I'm gonna do what I can to just provide balance, and that's all it is. It's just I just want to balance out.
You know, you may see on Facebook, you see a picture of, you know, about 4 or 5, you know, black men that are doctors. And there'll be a caption that says, "I bet this won't get the same traction as other folks."
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's, I mean, that's the case. But so it's just like, so what do you do? What you do is do what you do. You know, represent in your own way. And my thing is like, first and foremost, I'm about good music. So I'm an artist. I love good music. I love soul music. And so I wanted to do a soulful project. That what happened, that was the reasoning. And when I started was that. But when I started making songs, I started really talking about my journey and my becoming, right? So if you listen to the course of the album, where it starts from the wake up. Morning sun is the wake up. Like, it's time to put away childish things. It's time to put the biggest shit away. It's time to get to it. It's morning. Yeah, feel that sun on your face. It's time to wake up. You know what I mean? And then you're shedding the old dirty habits, the unfamiliars, the people that can't go with you on your journey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's like, so it goes in a order the way it goes for a reason. All the way to clean, where I'm feeling myself now. Where like, oh, I've arrived, right? Let me take a break. That's why my daughter says, hey, you know, you've been grinding, you've been doing your thing, Pop, you've been putting the work in. You need to go have some fun now. Like, yeah, go, right. So that's what clean, you know, is like, you know, ending the album, you know, so to speak.
So I actually had a question about Unfamiliar. So like Ice Cube, that's my favorite. So Unfamiliar reminds me of a non-violent, true to the game.
Okay.
So I want to ask you, who in particular not any one person, but like persons. Like who were you talking to and talking about?
Nobody in particular. It was just I mean, we all have people that a number of different scenarios. We all have people that we knew from we was young. We was doing a whole bunch of dirt with. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't developed. You know, we just doing our thing. We surviving. Sometimes you get with a crew of cats because they can know how to fight. You know what I'm saying? And niggas can wreck. So you like, let me be with them because, you know, and then they go around wrecking, right? So you wind up doing whatever dirt they do because you just want them to have your back. You know what I'm saying? And like that becomes your crew. And it's like, I'm tired of getting chumped at the basketball court for the court. I'm tired of niggas coming in and just busting, beating us down and taking the court. I want to get a crew that we can get that to stop happening. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes your crew. That's the thing, the main thing that you have in common is survival. So you're in a survival format, right? And then as you start growing and you becoming your own person, making your own decisions for your own benefit, it starts to clash with the survival only mentality, right? What Cass is doing, they robbing, they doing this. Like, look, man, because they can't even see past the bag of Funyuns. They can't see past the bag of Funyuns and the K2 that they doing right then and there to even think about tomorrow. What is tomorrow, Slim? We might be dead tomorrow. Nigga, I don't plan on being dead tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's where you're like, there's a disconnect here. You looking unfamiliar to me right now. Right? So there's that scenario, and then there's a scenario where you maybe can get too grown for your own britches, and you accomplish some things. That was my scenario with dude, accomplish some things. He got help, and they forgot where he came from, forgot the community that helped you get there. You know what I'm saying? You got I dropped knowledge on Slim, and he got his PhDs and all that, and all of a sudden you don't want to give back. Oh wow, Slim, for real? Real? Okay, you're looking unfamiliar to me right now. So it's like it's a couple different scenarios to that. For me, that kind of inspired the song. Shout out Nathaniel Starr too, man. That killed that on the singing, and Uptown XO as well on that joint. Yeah, and the his album Culture Over Corporate he just dropped, man. You got to, ooh, Lord. Ooh, yes, you need to have him. You need Culture Over Corporate. Shout out Uptown XO. Yeah.
Getting back to sonically,
yeah.
I noticed there are 3 songs that incorporate, the Go-Go production, Try It, Motivation, and Can't Lose. How important?
Try It, really?
19.
Okay.
But for sure, Motivation and
okay.
Lose Yourself. Right.
Yeah.
So how important was it to showcase the Go-Go, to incorporate the Go-Go sound into his album?
It's natural for me. Like, it's not something I set out to do. I'm naturally drawn to percussive beats. And that's the roots. That's the roots of just growing up to go-go and growing up to the sound of the city. I grew up to, I'm 80s go-go, so I grew up to, my man hit a post on Facebook, and he was with my man Slick Rick from Hot Cold Sweat and Central Groove, and I was like, yeah, we grew up with Rick and Jose, Heartbeat, all of that. I was like, yeah, that's people's. I was the youngin', I was the, they was the elders. I was like, yeah, but I remember when they used to go hit, we were like, hey, we gonna see Central Groove tonight, Slim, So it was, that Air Raid, Prophecy, Proper Utensils, all of that, that was us, so that's there, that's in the soul. So even though you do hip hop, it's like everybody went to go-go's, everybody had the PA tapes, everybody hitting, the Jones that they crank. So that's just a part of it. So when I hear those elements in hip hop, it's like the perfect marriage to me. So when I heard, so when Can't Lose a Soul happened, that was on purpose. That was on purpose. I put that in there because of the lyric. I wrote the lyric, I said, how y'all going come here and complain about the mumbo? How y'all doing, brothers slapping them Congos? I said, well, since I said that, now I gotta have some Congos in this joint, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I reached out to my man Boogie, Leroy Greer, and got him to play the same cat that's in the video. He's, so.
Was it a conscious decision to quote Pure Excellence, One Leg Up?
Pure, yes. Yeah. It was just a hot hook. You know, so I wrote pretty much all the hooks for the album. So it was just a hot hook, and it just made sense. Like I'm giving homage. And then, you know, so it's like, say no more, put the one leg up, put the booty on the floor. So it was like perfect. And I reached out to them too, man. I reached out to them as soon as we did it. I reached out to them to be in the video. I reached out, but I think they was on a hiatus at that time, and they wasn't responding enough. And I think they just got back together doing stuff. So, you know, but we couldn't make that happen. But there definitely is an homage. So even when I posted on YouTube, I gave them homage and all of that, you know what I'm saying? I made sure anytime I perform that song I mention Pure Elegance, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Pure Elegance, definitely. So
it's funny how you mentioned hearing go-go and hip-hop, but people may not realize DC actually has
hip-hop is taking a lot from go-go.
I was saying, DC actually has a long hip-hop story. It may not be all that prolific, but you know, Backyard Band was signed to Def Jam.
No, that was Junkyard. Junkyard. Yeah.
But that just goes to show how even back then.
Yeah, they was in Tougher Than Leather.
Right.
The movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, definitely, man. I mean, and if you look at and Herbie Lovebug Azor's whole catalog he holds his own catalog to EU and I mean, you think about Salt and Pepper, you think about Kid and Play, you think I mean Dana Dane, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Dougie, I mean, and the marriage is like those who did well, like come in and perform, embrace go-go, and those who, you know,
I think some of the first blows track.
Yeah, it's so much, and then it's like, and then you had so they was checking for stuff because of like Trouble and taking the samples from Trouble Funk and taking it and Chuck and all that. So when and then you know when Junk hit and got signed to Def Jam, when they had dropped Sardines and then the Word, you know what I mean, which was like the first political, you know what I'm saying, song talking about reggae making bombs, reggae, you know what I mean? What's the word? Like, that was big. That was big, you know what I'm saying? So that was Def Jam, yep. Yeah. I used to see them dudes on F Street, literally banging on junk, the buckets and the pails. We was young, hitting F Street down, going down Cavaliers, y'all. Remember that? They go ahead and hit Cavaliers and stuff. Slim.
It's crazy because like I didn't usually I didn't go, but I don't think political. And it wasn't until probably about 2 years ago that most of the songs you just said.
The Word?
The Word.
Yeah.
That I was on YouTube and I found it. I was like, yo, this dude's going in like political.
Yeah.
I'm like, that really like that. It put a new light in my head.
It was like the message to hip hop. Like for go-go, it was like the Word was like the message was to hip hop. It was like the Word with Junkyard was like, that was like the first joint. And they was talking about in the reggae era, what they did, dropping crack in the communities and the Contras and all that. Yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt.
But you know, there's one more thing I want to ask when we get back to you. Try it. Now, you know.
We're about to shoot a video for that, by the way. In like a couple weeks. Yep.
Your album has a definite theme of growth, accountability, and manhood. You know what I'm saying? And just you know, being present as a man in the 21st century. But then try it to me. It seemed like y'all was like, you know what? You gonna throw these bars around. You know, like
But it still adheres to the theme, though. Yeah, but it's kind of like my old, like it's just, I mean, but it's like, try it. It's like, try our ideology. Like, try what we're saying. Just try it. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I start off, you know, for the love of the breakbeat and the struggle that made me dedicated, even when they go bad like Gray Meat, even when Ghetto started, even when they decided the black man was a better target, blow our brains in HD. So it's still going on to that theme, like of us and our journey. But what's your response to that? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said either be a man or keep acting like they own you. You know what I'm saying? So like, what you gonna do about it? That's my whole thing about whatever challenges that we have. Real men step up, fake niggas back up like carbonite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for us to step up, period. It's time to step up for our children, for our women. Protect women, protect our women, protect black and brown women. It's like you see so much stuff happen, social media from these white dudes and stuff going around harassing our women. Like, they do that shit because we not there. You know what I mean? If we not there, things that happen that, like, I'd be like, Slim, if I was there, oh, Slim. Slump. I mean, straight slump. Like, so, like, we have to make our women feel protected, regardless if they're our women or not. Like, my thing is, if I see anybody, harassing a black woman on the train, or, and almost any woman, you know what I'm saying? For real, if you want to get, honest with it. But it's like, but especially, you know what I'm saying? Especially, if I see, it's like, look, come on, man. Nah, and I think if you step to these youngins that don't know better, if you step to them with respect and be like, look, we're not going to do that. I'm like, such and such and such. And you tell them, like, look, no, we're not going to have that. I said, you diss it for what? I said, would you do your mother like that? Would you do, and let's, and I'm going to try to talk to you first. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to give you the pen instead of the sword. But some motherfuckers only respect the sword. And if they only respect the sword, then you got to give them the sword. But it's like, I'm trying to give you the pen and the intellect first, and the heart. Like, honestly, like, this is from the heart. I'm not trying to hurt you, Slim, but you damn sure ain't gonna hurt her. You know what I mean? And that's real man shit, like, for real. No matter what's happening, you know what I'm saying? So that's what that's about. Yeah.
There's some bars.
Yeah. Shout out my man. Yeah. Well, we had to flex on it. I wanted to flex. I mean, I'm an MC, so you know what I mean. It's like, my whole thing was like, I try to know when to really. Some songs I wanted to just play an instrument. I just wanted to be an instrument. Like, here's my contribution to the song, but I'm not trying to outshine anything else. Like, I just want to contribute my part, right? That joint was like, no, I'm about to get wrecked. I'm about to catch it, because it was just that type of track. It was that type of track, you know what I mean? And it was like, it wasn't a whole lot to the track. It was enough for us to do our thing. So shout out my man Joey Blessed, who definitely, which I gotta respect. He's a Christian, and he's a Christian rapper. You know what I'm saying? And like, saved, and like, no cursing, no nothing, just in rap. You know what I mean? Yeah. Incredible voice, and so, and the whole thing about this album is that it's different from Mr. Move Something, in being that I didn't set out to work with anybody in particular. Like, I literally let the songs decide whose voice I heard that should go on it. Like, Mr. Move Something, I was like, yo, I want to do something with Asheru and Cocaine. I want to do something with Raheem and Dub. I want to do something, blah, blah, blah. I set out to work with people on that. With this was a totally different approach. It was like, I just want to make this song, what's going to make this song the best this song could possibly be? And I said, you know what, I'm hearing, certain things. And at that point, I was tired of hearing me. Well, by the time Try It came, I was like, I need another voice. You know what I mean? Like, Unfamiliar had EXO as well, but it was like, I can't hear too much of me. I want a different perspective. I want a different voice in it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So with Mr. Move Something coming out in 05?
05, yep.
What is your take on the current DC hip hop scene? Because you were out before, long before Wale, long before YB and Cordae, the artists out now. So what's the between 05 when you made your first album?
I wasn't the first. Travels was the first. That was 98. Was Travels, and so I had Travels in 98, which was an EP really, and then a number of singles before that, and then we had the single 99 with Danger Mouse and Lonnie, to Meet Me by the Bar. But the full album was, Travels was like a 7-song EP, and then the full album was Mr. Move Something. Yeah. So
even going back to 98, in 05, what is your take on the change in the DC hip hop scene now?
think the scene is as talented as it's ever been. As strong as it's ever been as far as talent. What we don't have that we used to have was as many communal places to meet and perform and do things with. We don't have enough venues that accept what we do, that were especially all concentrated in an area like U Street. You know, back then we had the State of the Union, which was special. I mean, people talk a lot about Cafe House and Bar None and Metro Cafe and all those places were great. All those places are great, but none of them touched the State. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the State of the Union with the bartender Denise, who did the booking there, she made sure that if she liked your music, that you met everybody else who was doing any other genre of music there. Like, she would be like, oh my God, you're incredible, you need to meet such and such, and blah, blah, blah. I wound up doing live recording, a live freestyle recording with a brass band at State of the Union. I'm on like a live recording at the State where I freestyled with a brass and percussion band because of that type of shit. Like, I rocked with a rock band called Underfoot that used to do stuff, and they was on a scene in Annapolis with Jimmy's Chicken Shack and Good Charlotte and all of them back in the day. And like, just because she loved you need to meet these, and we just blended art. And there was no other place like that. I found out about so many. You could hear House in the front. You hear Deep Dish cats that they're doing stuff for Madonna now. Like, those cats would be in the front, in the back, where you got Oso or Chuck or Dirty Hands or Tech in the front. Places where we can all get together communally, man. You know what I mean? I think it was more of that back in the day. So, you know, spots in DC are ever evolving. So hopefully that'll come back. I think there's enough activity and stuff for things to start, at least some of the bar owners and stuff to start loosening things up again. So we'll see, you know, but yeah.
All right, Priest, so do you have any upcoming shows or events?
Yeah. Well, we're getting the album release show together now. But what we do have coming up is a production Q&A event at Omega Studios in Rockville, where I used to work at. A lot of people want to know the creative and production process of the album. So we're doing that on February 16th. It's a Sunday, 6:30 to 9:30 media event. So you'll see a lot of promo on that because they'll be promoting it. We'll be promoting it as well. And so we're getting that in the release show together. And yeah, that's it, man. And then, you know, stay tuned for the Try It video. We're getting that together, and then, you know, you can just hit me on the social media definitely to follow us. So you know, on Instagram I'm at Priest Da Nomad, PriestDaNomad. Twitter at PriestDN, and you can just, you know, Google at Priest Da Nomad, Priest Da Nomad, and get everywhere. You know what I'm saying? My Bandcamp, all my catalog is on the Bandcamp. Also, just so you know, the album is distributed, but there's a clean version strictly on my Bandcamp of the album. So any DJs, anybody wants a clean version, you know, yeah, there's strictly a whole clean version of the album just on my Bandcamp page. So, yep. Yeah, man. So, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Definitely.
We definitely appreciate you taking time out to
man, I've had fun. It's been great. Scratch Vision, GeMix, beautiful.
We can attest the album is dope.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to reach us, you can email us at the GeMix DMV. That's the GeMix DC Maryland Virginia at gmail.com. Twitter, the GeMix. Instagram, the GeMix DMV. Again, the GeMix DC Maryland Virginia. You can also find our group on Facebook / the GeMix. You can just hear every Saturday 12 noon on Scratch Vision.
Yes, sir. Shout out ADST.
Right.
My man in the building. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, yeah, all in the mix for a lot of peoples, man. So, yeah.
And you can catch Soyo here every Sunday.
Yes.
When Soyo?
Every Sunday, 8 o'clock. On most Thursdays, except for the first and last Thursday.
We out. Peace. All right.
Yep.